Happy Monday. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode number 18. It is Monday, and today the topic is going to be how to handle delays with the United States Postal Service. USPS has seen some significant delays over the last couple months. So I've seen some topics come up, some people within the hobby asking, what should I do in this situation? So I've encountered this as both a buyer and seller. So I'll give you some tips in how to handle some of the delays that are happening with the post office. Sunday, I spent a lot of time sorting, getting ready for some big trades this week, some return items that I'll be getting out. Also fulfilled some eBay orders, and in doing so, every once in a while, I'll go through my boxes, my eBay boxes, and I'll come across a couple cards that I'm surprised have not sold. Um, in some instances, I probably priced it at release, so the prices drop, afterwards, and especially if it's not a player that has gotten hot. So in those instances, I'll look it up. I'll drop the price within my eBay store, but in some other cases, they may have timed out in my eBay store for whatever reason. It wasn't defaulted to list all the time or whatever, repeating listing, not just end after 30 days, which was the case in a couple instances because I looked up and realized, wow, I didn't realize these were not actually posted in my store. One was from 2019, 18 or 19, Andrew Stevenson red ink auto, framed auto. It's numbered to 10. That was not posted in my eBay store. So at some point this week, I'll be getting that up. And another one that I had some Bowman base rookies sell out pretty quickly. I had 13 or 14 sell out of Brandon Lowe. I have this mega box rookie of the year favorite numbered to 99. So that will be going up in my eBay store this week as well. Throughout collections I've picked up, when I sort through them, I obviously pull the Cubs and any other teams that I'm either low on in sorting or especially star cards. And I'll sort out the star players by name. Sometimes there's collectors that, hey, I'm a Will Clark fan or a Cal Ripken fan or Bo Jackson. So I can easily pull those cards out for player collectors. I have not collected basketball cards in 25 years. I stopped collecting basketball in the mid 90s. And when I acquire basketball cards, I basically put them in player lots. And, every once in a while, I will do some basketball trades. I'll trade basketball cards for Cubs cards. But I've got several boxes of basketball star cards that I've basically saved for a rainy day. I listed a bunch of Chicago Bulls cards when their documentary came out this spring. So since I've been scaling up my eBay store, and yesterday's episode was on scalability. Since I've scaled up my eBay store, I've been going through boxes and pulling out star cards of some of these basketball cards. And before I list, most of them I would list at 99 cents free shipping. But since I don't know basketball, I have on occasion looked up, if it's a base card of Fleer, Skybox, NBA Hoops, I'll either not list it or it's a 99-cent card. But there's a lot of 90s inserts, and I know there's a lot of collectability within 90s inserts. And one card that I pulled out this weekend, I have stacks of Kevin Garnett cards. And I think I sold an insert of Kevin Garnett a few days ago for $3-4. And I pulled this. It's a Court Authority, and I listed this for $15 in my eBay store. I had somebody watching it, so I extended an offer, and I think I had only listed it for a few hours, so I didn't get a great discount, but I offered like $1 off. So $14. They actually countered for $12, and I was very happy with that offer. So I accepted the $12 offer, and never would have thought that I would pull a $12 card out of one of these boxes of basketball cards that have just been lying around. And that's kind of what has been fun during this extra time during the pandemic, is finding some of these $12 cards in boxes that A, I didn't realize they were $12 cards, and B, they were just lying around in a box behind me. There's a lot of these boxes behind me. There may be more. I'm sure there are more hidden gems within some of these boxes. I pulled some non-sports cards out of a box a few weeks ago, and there were a couple Hulk Hogan cards that sold for $12.50 a piece. So that's been fun in doing some of these sorting projects over the last few months. Obviously, yesterday was Sunday, so no mail arrived. I still have not gotten around to sort the flat rate boxes that came last week, so I'm hoping to get caught up within the next couple days. I'll be out of town next weekend, so hopefully I can get these counted here early this week and get that Cubs count number updated. So I did more sorting, did some updating, and there have been within the last few weeks a lot of questions on social media. I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook with some of my friends who are outside of the hobby, who are expecting packages, and they're showing tracking information that it's been held up for 3 weeks. And I'm seeing this with people, who order, infrequently. And they're not in the trenches like some of us in the hobby, where we're at the post office 5 days a week. Early in the pandemic, I didn't notice any significant delays whatsoever. March, April, May, didn't see any delays. And then June hit. And I've read the backstories. It seems very political, which I won't get into. But in June, I noticed from the buying side, with the volume I sell, I do deal with some trickle, especially with the amount of PWE plain white envelopes that I send out. Every once in a while there'll be a delay, and in some cases it's just impatience. In some cases it's a delay. It's a serious delay where it may be a week before a PWE arrives, or even bubble mailers. But June is when I really started to notice, and I noticed it from a buying side first, where I had, somebody sent me tracking for a box, and it was like 9 or 10 days later, I realized, oh yeah, that box was supposed to be coming. And I, happened to look up tracking, and it was held up, and it ended up getting to me about 2 weeks after it was shipped out. From a selling standpoint, right around that same time, I had shipped a poster, and posters, you would expect a PWE or a bubble mailer to get caught up somewhere and maybe get lost within the supply chain of the post office. But a poster tube kind of surprised me. That's the biggest issue I've had so far, knock on wood, within all of these delays. It was a poster tube going from Madison, Wisconsin to the state of Mississippi. About 2 weeks in, the buyer reached out to me and was very cordial, said, I know you shipped it. I've got the tracking, but it's been held up in Chicago for 2 weeks. So we were in constant communication. I opened up 2 claims with the USPS. Both were closed for insufficient information, which I honestly don't know what else I could offer them, because I gave them my shipping address, the receiver's address. I gave them the description of the package, which is, it's a brown poster tube, and it has the address label on it. That's it. It's a brown poster tube. I can't get any more descriptive. Here's the tracking number. It's been stuck in Chicago you know, for 3 weeks. Both cases were closed, with nothing, and then all of a sudden it shook loose and it was delivered. 5 weeks. It took 5 weeks for a poster tube. 4 of those weeks it was stuck in Chicago, and it finally got there. And the buyer and myself, the seller, were in constant communication. I touched base with him. Hey, the first case was closed. I'm opening a second one. I'm going to word things differently to try to get this, taken care of. And communication is the biggest key in all of this. What sucks is I have been dinged. I was given a negative feedback for a package that supposedly never arrived. And I have no reason to believe that, it didn't arrive. I'm sure it was stuck, and hopefully that person received their card. Unfortunately, they never reached out to me for, any information. Hey, did you send this card out? Hey, I haven't received this card. It was just, I haven't received this card, negative feedback. Okay, fine. So communicate with, whether you're on the buying side or the selling side, or if it's a trade, either side of a trade. Just keep in mind that there are issues with the USPS. There are significant delays. If tracking is provided, follow up. And if it's a buy-sell transaction, in my opinion, the seller is on the hook for, if the buyer wants a refund, the seller should oblige. With the, if it ends up showing up, I think it's only fair that the buyer offer that money back or send the item back, because it's out of the buyer's and seller's hands. It's a completely USPS issue, and if tracking is there, that the seller did do his side of the bargain, but it is up to the seller that an item arrives as described. And communication is key. From a buyer's side, I say be patient, because in more cases than not, I've been the seller in these delays recently. Just be patient. It'll probably arrive, and it's probably going to be late. So that's basically the gist of it. Just be patient. If there are issues if the buyer wants to, if you are the buyer, and you want to get this somehow fast tracked, it's probably unlikely, but you can open cases. Lost mail claims, just go to the USPS website. I think the seller should be on that. I think the seller should do that. Just good business. Have the seller open a lost mail claim, give all that information to the USPS. Not sure if anything will be done in a case, but sometimes it will shake loose and, oh yeah, that's been sitting in Chicago for 4 weeks. So communication, that's really the gist of it. Just make sure there's an open line of communication. If you've been waiting for 2 weeks for a package to arrive and it hasn't, don't just leave negative feedback. No need to reach out to social media and ask. Just reach out directly to the seller or to the other party. Let them know the situation. I see tracking shows it shipped and it's been stuck in X city. Can you look into this? And as a seller, oblige. Look into it. Reach out to the USPS, file a lost mail claim, communicate that with the buyer, and just communicate back and forth. The delays have happened, will happen, and likely will continue happening for the next 3 months at least. So it's something that we have to deal with. And the strange part of all this is it's happening more for me personally with packages as opposed to plain white envelopes. That's always been kind of the downside to sending PWE is there's no tracking and it's going to be delayed. And um, typically PWE do take maybe a day longer, 2 days longer than what a bubble mailer would take. But right now I'm seeing plain white envelopes show up quicker than bubble mailers. I'm seeing a lot of packages taking days longer and in some cases weeks longer than what they should. So there are serious delays within the USPS. And if you're on any side of a transaction that you're experiencing this, understand it is happening. It's not on the seller. It's not on another trade partner. It is most likely, if the tracking is there and showing, it is on the USPS. So just make sure to keep those lines of communication open. I would hate to see a seller or a trader be um, thrown out as a scammer or a slow shipper, or didn't do his part of a deal because of the issues we're seeing with the post office. So that's all I had today on USPS delays, and finding some gems within my boxes behind me. Today, the plan is, well, tonight, the plan is to get a couple more trade packages wrapped up. I've got some eBay sales to mail out. And my goal is to get one of my packages from last week opened up, sorted, counted, and on our way. So that's all for now. Thanks for tuning in to Hobby Evolution, already episode number 18. We'll be back again tomorrow morning for another topic, whatever comes up. And that's the fun part of all this. The topics typically come throughout the day before I record. So I saw somebody post about delays in USPS on Twitter yesterday, and that's where it came up. So maybe I'll see something today that lends to another topic tomorrow. So thanks for tuning in, and make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, as well as visit the website 1millioncubs.com. Have a great Monday.